for David. And generate over 7 figures. There's no reason why you guys shouldn't be able to make 10K plus per month after this. Motion, logic, and primal instincts. Chubby, fat black kid that used to work at McDonald's. The number one thing that I want to make sure I remind you guys is like, as much questions as possible. Because I'm just going to be talking, but there's going to be some huge points. And I've made it so that there's going to be like a load of points, a load of value. But obviously, in order for you guys to obviously get the full context of the value, I need you guys to ask me questions. So feel free, just put your hand up, be like, whoa, slow down. What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? So today, I am going to be going over, guys, how to become an A player setter, an A player closer, and a key person of influence. Which truthfully, right, this one chubby, fat black kid that used to work at McDonald's, that, you know, if you asked Temi what he was like 2023 August when he first got into the online space, which truthfully, if this young man in front of you right now that's been able to turn into this can do, every single one of you guys can do. Because I'm looking at every single one of you guys right now. And it's funny because I think back to myself, it's like the amount of like growth and the amount of progression that I've had to do in order to get to where I'm at now is insane. So a lot of you guys are really starting at like a head start, because I promise you right now, like I wouldn't have been smart enough to be in a room like this. You know what I mean? Truthfully, with all of these skills and the right opportunity, there is no reason why anyone here or anyone even watching this video, right, with the right implementation, there's no reason why you guys should not be making 10K plus per month with the correct sales roles and with the correct mindset that Temi spoke about. There's no reason why you guys shouldn't be able to make 10K plus per month after this. But why should you listen to me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know some of you guys obviously know who I am. Some of you guys have just found out about who I am. Like, why should you listen to David? By the time of us speaking at this mastermind right now is the end of 2025. And after being in the sales space for about 2 and a bit years, almost 3 years, by the age of 20, I've been able to scale to multiple thousands per month as a DM setter and a DM closer. Obviously working for people like my first ever client ever, Dominic. My second ever client, Big Temi here that you'll see as well, managing his own personal account as well. Move into closing, generate over 6 figures as a closer for some of my clients. Okay, closing after I really had no formal closer training for myself and obviously one-to-one with Temi, never actually like investing into a mentorship, but just going in, figuring out as I go. And then also move into managing sales teams and generate over 7 figures for my clients as a sales manager and as a business owner. Okay, I've got a screenshot of some of the results here, so you guys just, you know, don't think I'm capping. To be able to go from, basically do it all, go from starting as a DM setter, start closing people in the DMs, start closing people on calls, to then start managing teams of people that are DM setting and DM closing and also closing as well. But then also probably the most impressive feat I'd say on this whole thing is say, you know what, fuck all of that, making money online is too easy, and leave all of that, go to London in the coldest period of, you know, the UK weather, and just become the number 1 sales rep in the country. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely smash it, not even having done any sort of, you know, direct sales or face-to-face sales, and absolutely go just from the bat and start smashing it. Do you know what I mean? Being the number 1 in the UK, number 1 in the office, and, you know, being able to do special things like run record-breaking road trips with Temi, even though we'd never even fucking ran a road trip. It's just, you know, what the alpha setters do. It's the mindset that Temi spoke about. And then least but not least, help others make thousands too. Do you know what I mean? Help my one-to-one students quit their jobs. Help my one-to-one students hit 5K months. Help people that were working for me and learning from me quit their job, make 1.2K in a week from setting, which, you know, would have taken them 100+ hours of slaving away at their 9-to-5s. It's safe to say I know a little bit about sales, which is why today I've put it into actionable steps for you guys. Genuinely, I want you to guys be on your notes, writing down, like, you guys action one of these things, I promise you, your comms will increase drastically, all right? How to become an A player sales rep, and I've put it into 11 core foundations. Step number 1, greed. Have any of you guys, other than Angel and Temi, have any of you guys ever heard of the saying greed? Oh, and Killian, have any of you guys ever heard what greed is? See, a lot of the things that I'm going to speak about today, and a lot of the things like greed is like, you'll probably know what the concept of it is, but you'll have never heard the definition, right? And in order to understand the importance of something, you need to understand the definition. In sales, greed is the truth to sales, whether you're DM setting, whether you're closing. If there's no greed in your prospect, if there's no greed when you're selling, there is no sale. The prospect has to want something. The prospect has to have the greed to want something or to achieve something in order to buy. Your prospect has to have greed in order for them to buy. Otherwise, if there's nothing they want, if there's nothing they want to get out of that sales equation, they're just not going to buy it, right? So I want you guys to remember that no matter what, your prospect needs to have greed, okay? And there's 4 types of prospects that you're going to deal with, okay? You're going to deal with a prospect that wants to solve current pain. Think of fat, smelly Joe that, has never got female attention in his life, hates it, and he wants to get fit, he wants to get abs so that, he can finally be the man he wants to be. People that want current pleasure, these are people that want to make money. A lot of you guys just wanted current pleasure. You weren't necessarily in a bad situation. Like I know, Danny, you were working a corporate job, making about, how much were you making?
4.5K.
You're making about 4.5K, and how old are you?
23.
You're like 23, making 4.5K. Like, you didn't have any pain, really. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't trying to fucking escape from something, but you wanted current pleasure. You wanted to be able to be from Thailand or Philippines, making money, fucking chilling. You wanted to be able to just live life on your own terms. You've got the people that want future pleasure, okay? These are the people that want to become millionaires or just have a big, big future goal that they want, and you're going to help them get there. But then you've also got the people that want to remove future pain. You think of people, those are like people like, rich people that go into, I don't know, stuff like, they get help with tax, or they get help with things like, what's it called when you, insurance, you know what I mean? People that want to make sure that they remove future pain. Truthfully, if you don't know what the prospect that you're speaking to wants, 5 minutes into the sales conversation, you're behind. Like, what you need to think about when you're DM setting and when you're closing, what is it that this person, what is it that who I'm speaking to, what is it that they actually want? In order to apply greed into whenever you're DM setting or whether you're closing, right? First things first is you need to locate your prospect's desires. Like, what is it that they actually want to achieve? What do they want to do? And you need to find out what it is that they want. Then you just need to amplify it, right? So when you're a setter, before you're about to book someone in, first things first is you need to get one tangible, one selfish reason, one outcome that they want to achieve. And this will allow you to actually establish that as the reason for booking them the call. In order to, in sales, there needs to be a reason for everything, right? So if you've been speaking to someone in the DMs and they're like, they're struggling with, I don't know, I always love to use the weight loss analogy. If someone's struggling with weight loss, all right, perfect, bro. I'm going to send you my calendar right now. Just book in a 30 minute slot. We'll be able to see if I can actually help you with losing weight, okay? That's the tangible outcome, and that's what makes it, they're going to jump on that call now because they've got the greed in order to be able to actually solve their situation. If you're closing, figure out the questions about what it is that they actually want. What is it that they need, and why do they want it, okay? What I always say here is you want to figure out one primal reason, because truthfully, human beings buy off of 3 impulses. A lot of people think that it's only emotional and logic, right? But there's one more reason. There's a primal reason. It's called the primal reason that people move forward and that people take action, all right? Emotion, logic, and primal instincts. And the neocortex, which is a part of the brain that justifies things, if you're able to get someone to want to buy something, and they're able to use their neocortex to justify it, they're going to be so much more likely to buy, because at the end of the day, our primal instincts is what dictates what we do in life. It dictates why we do certain things, why we want to get better, because, we all want to increase our status. Point number 2, indifference. Did any of you guys know what indifference is, other than the 3 people I mentioned?
Yeah.
What is it?
When you're not bothered. You don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Facts. The person who needs the sale, the person who needs the commission, who needs the book, who needs to close the deal, is the most likely to get it. Danny, you relate to this. Now, have you ever been speaking to a girl and you've really wanted her, but you've never got her?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then have you also had a scenario, right, where you haven't really cared about the person? You've been so indifferent, you've kind of just been taking the piss. And all of a sudden, they've almost wanted you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's because you were indifferent. Or it's because your indifference was off if you wanted them, but when you did want them, it's because you're indifferent. In a sales interaction, prospects can smell neediness. And the more you care, the less they want to do it. It's the sales where I'm being myself and don't really give a fuck, like I don't really care if they buy or not, those are the ones I perform the best in. Because when you really want it, when you really want to move forward and when you really want this person to buy, they're just going to sense that. I'm going to be like, why is this person so on? Like, why is this person so needy? Like, why do they want it? You know, it seems like you've got an ulterior motive. So number one thing is you need to control that. And no matter how much you really want it, you need to understand that you can't let your prospects see that, because if they see that, you're just going to fuck up the sale. This is how you apply indifference into your setting and your closing, right? You need to be willing to disqualify a lead or not book someone if they're acting right. Like the biggest mistake I see people set, or I see setters making, is that any single person that they speak to, they're going to die on that hill until they buy, or until they book the call. Like you need to book from a place of abundance and understand that if this person doesn't book or if this person doesn't get into the call, there's so many other people that can book. You know, have that mindset that there's 7 billion people in the world. One of them will be able to book. Go on, bro.
How do you have abundance on an offer that doesn't have many leads?
What you need to understand is that if you force someone to obviously book a call, if they're not a good fit, you're just going to be wasting your time. You're going to be wasting the closer's time. So that's why, although it does matter the type of offer that you're on, and that if you're on an offer where there isn't an abundance of people, you want to look for one. But in order to have abundance on an offer that doesn't have many leads, it's very hard because I actually haven't been in that situation before. But what you have to understand is that there is someone. Do you know what I mean? There are people out there that need your service, and that's why you need to sell them something that's valuable. That's what I'd say, bro. Going back to the setting point, you want to book from a place of abundance and frame the call as if you're doing them a favor, okay? Like when you're setting now, I want you to look at it as, especially if this person's actually got a big problem, they're not doing you a favor by getting on the call. They're not doing you a favor. You're doing them a favor. If you're setting someone on a make money online offer and they don't have an income, you're doing them a fucking huge favor because they're about to get on an offer. They're about to learn how to make money. Don't look at it as, oh, I need this person to buy or I need this person to book, because then your indifference will be off, right? Same applies when you're as a closer. The biggest mistake that closers make is that they really, really, really want to close anyone, and they almost like kiss their prospects. Like they almost like kiss up to their prospects, and they want to say all of the right things in order for them to buy. They're scared of pushing prospects away. My bad, bro, I didn't see.
What if it's called outbound though, so you're the one reaching out to them and
Yeah.
there's no prior contact with, like you're almost chasing them, aren't you?
As long as you've got conviction in the offer, like you're chasing them, but you know what you're chasing them for is for something valuable. Do you know what I mean? So like, no matter what, it's like, say if you had something that, say if you had gold, right? You're not gonna be scared to, and say if you had gold and you had to walk 2 random people on the street and give them gold. Because you know how valuable the gold is, you're not gonna be scared to speak to them, are you? You're not going to be scared to go, or not necessarily chase them, because you're not chasing them. You never want to see it as chasing. But you're not going to be scared to push them because you know how good it's going to be. And you know that, all right, cool, even though I just came up to you, this is still going to benefit you a lot more than it's going to benefit me. So no matter what, like, as long as you've got conviction in what you're selling and you believe, that's why selling on a good offer is the most important thing. That's not going to be a fucking problem. Go on.
I don't have a question. I thought you said it perfectly, actually. You know, it's a beliefs thing, isn't it? If you believe that you can help them more than they can help you, then
Exactly.
you're having a difference.
Exactly. And that's why genuinely as a sales rep, like what you need to understand is we're getting people to their dream state. We're getting people to their dream life. So you shouldn't feel like you're doing them a favor, because so you shouldn't feel like they're doing you a favor, because truly you are doing them a favor. You're getting them to where they want to get to. And it's the exact same with being a closer, right? Call them out on their bullshit. Like, have you ever been on a sales call? I'm not sure, any of you closing at the moment? Yeah. Have you ever been on like a sales call? Yeah. Have you ever been on a sales call where they're just chatting shit? Like oh, I can do this myself. All right, bro. Well, you've been fat for 5 years. You clearly can't do it yourself. You can't, like, call them out on that. Be willing, because they'll respect that more and they'll see that, all right, cool. This guy isn't telling me what I want to hear. They're telling me what I need to hear. And like, you're going to trust someone a lot more if they're telling them what you need to hear. Be willing to walk away as well. Like, be willing to have a call where you're like, you know what, this guy he's not going to be a right fit. I don't even want him on the offer. I'm just going to walk away. And be okay with silence as well. Like, a lot of sales reps or a lot of closers, they want to talk. But be willing to be in silence. Be willing to let them respond. Sometimes, like when I'm on a call as well, like I'll literally show them my calendar. I'll show them how many calls of people that I've got to speak to prove that we've got people that if it's not them that's going to sign up, someone else is going to sign up. So it's like, do you find the value in this? All right, cool. Do you want to move forward? Because if not, I'm just going to go on to my next call. It really doesn't affect me. I'm indifferent. I just don't really care. Point number 3 is the impulse curve, okay? The sooner you can book someone in, the sooner you can get someone on a call, and the sooner you can provide a solution to someone after figuring out their emotional, their deep why, the reason that they want to change, the more likely they are to buy, okay? Like if someone admits they're in a really bad situation right now, they need to change something, and they've just told you why they need to change it, they've told you how many problems it's causing them, they've told you how much it's hurting them, and you can straight away show them the solution, they're gonna buy. They're gonna move forward, right? It's like, if you guys are really hungry right now and I'm the only person with food in here, of course you guys are gonna buy my food. Do you know what I mean? Because it's, you know, I've given you the solution to your problem straight away. But say if it's like a couple hours go past and like all of you guys, if I don't know, you've came out, you went to the shops, you went and bought different things. Because I didn't get you at the right time, I didn't capture your impulse at the right time, and I didn't give you your solution, you don't really care anymore. That's why speed is more important. Like your prospect is 100% more likely to buy, 100 times more likely to buy if they see a solution right now than if they see a solution a week after. You know, it's the impulse curve. And there's so many analogies you can use this, like I just gave you one as well, right? So this is how you like absolutely, you know, utilize the impulse curve as well. You need to strike whilst the fucking iron is hot, man. Like I see too many people having good prospects, but they'll be like, oh, nah, he's got pain, he's gonna buy whatever. Like, nah. If you get someone, and that's why, especially I put it here as a setter, like, reply fast. Speed to lead is so fucking important. Go on, bro.
I just want to say, everyone, make sure you're taking notes, because this is actually so valuable.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that as well, bro. Because, like, truly, like, speed to lead, reply fast. People will buy more likely than, like, for instance, I'll use an analogy. It's like a tattoo. I've got 3 tattoos. I wanted to get these tattoos, okay? And there were 2 places I could have gone to, okay? There were one place that was really good. Everyone told me to go there. But I just replied to them on Instagram and they weren't fucking replying. And I was like, oh, why am I dealing with this? I was truly like, they need a DM set because they missed out on money, right? But
Why don't you pitch them?
I don't know, because it's tattoo, bro, no ticket. But I was like,
How much for your tattoos?
my tattoos altogether like £500.
Big ticket. DM clothes.
DM clothes, more time. But the perfect analogy was like a tattoo. Like Alex Hormozy says this all the time. People are more likely going to buy from the people that reply the quickest. I went to the lesser tattoo shop, or not even the lesser because they were really good, but I went to the tattoo shop that I didn't want to go to simply because they were replying faster, simply because they could solve my problem a lot faster. Do you know what I mean? So you need to think like you could be on a huge offer. If you're not replying to people fast enough, they're just going to go to someone else. They're just going to go to your competitors. You just need to be fast with it. You need to be clinical. Make sure they book in now rather than later. I know a lot of you guys will have it where they're like, oh, all right, cool, yeah, I'll book this later, bro. You know what I mean? I'll book this when I've got the time. Like, no. You want to showcase how important this booking is for them. And they need to book it now. You know, you want to even look at, all right, cool, like, how soon can I get this person to get on a call from speaking to them? You want to implement something called a live call, right? Like, you can have it so that, cool, I've got this prospect, they really want to buy. Let me call my closer right now. Bro, are you available? I've got this really hot lead. He just told me everything that he needs, and he said he's free right now. Like, I promise you, jump on a call. It's like, think about it. If you guys had this really big problem, and I was like, bro, listen, let me speak to you right now. We actually might be able to solve this right now, straight away. I'm going to get on a call with you. Your impulse is so high, your intent is so high, especially if this is a big problem, you're gonna wanna solve it, okay? So think about live calls as well. Like, don't just wait until the calendar. Ask your closer, ask your business owner, hey bro, can you do now? I know it's not on the calendar, but can you do now? And I promise you, you will close a lot more deals. I implemented this, like, I've been implementing this a lot with my own offer, with my own team, and we've been closing crazy. If you're a closer, how does this apply? You need to pitch when the emotional clarity peaks, right? When the prospect has just gone into everything about why they hate what they're doing, why they hate their situation. Now that's when you show them the solution. Now that's when you show them what you're going to do to help. Now that's when you show them like, all right, cool. Now is the right time to take action, and now is the right time to change. Like as soon as you get your prospect to admit that, cool. This is exactly how we're going to do that, bro. It would be like giving them a nice cold bottle of water after a sauna. You know, when you get out of the sauna, you're bare sweaty and you're like, there's nothing better than water. It's the exact same with a prospect. Like after they've just admitted everything, after you've got all of their pain out, all right, cool, I've got the solution for you now. This is why for all of my closers as well, like follow-up calls are literally banned. For all of my closing teams right now, follow-up calls are banned. Like if they don't close on that call, for anything other than logistics, like nah, you're not allowed to do follow-ups. Because it pushes them to go so hard and like show them, because if they're not gonna take action right now where their pain's at the highest, they're very likely less to take action. Go on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Follow-ups are literally, we banned it. Go on.
How do you balance that like hard pushing and with like the indifference sort of thing you mentioned before?
You just told them like, you need to be real with your prospects. Now there's two types of closers, right? There are the closers that are really nice and the closers that are ruthless. I feel like I've got a really good mix of both because I can be your friend. I can make you laugh, but then I'll tell you like, bro, you're chatting shit. The worst thing that you can do as a closer is allow people to trick themselves into thinking that waiting or etc. Allow them to think that that's the most logical thing. Like, you genuinely need to tell them that no, like, what you're doing right now, you're not acting like the type of person that wants to get their goals, and you need to be willing to, as I said, call prospects out on their bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, you can tell a prospect, like, to be honest, bro, you know, the person that you're trying to be right now, like, if you've got all of these big goals and you're not willing to take action, like, genuinely, I want you to take your dreams, I want you to take all of these aspirations that you've got of making 10K plus per month, I want you to take them to the back of a barn and shoot them. Because you're not acting like the type of person that deserves results. Prospects respect that so much. And like, you're not being clingy. I'm not saying, oh, please, please, please buy. I'm saying, if you don't take action right now, when are you going to take action? You've been wanting to do this for so long. You know the type of person you want to be? What do they do right now? You said this is something that you really need, right? Do you think the type of person that you want to be, do you think they take action? Do you think they're fast when they understand that there's a problem that they need to fix it? Or do they just allow it to manifest into a big problem? Just get really comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. You know what I mean? But yeah, follow-up calls are banned. Like, genuinely, if you don't get someone to buy on that call, or you let them get away with I need to think about objection and you don't wrestle them, it's banned. Fear of loss over tangible gain, right? Prospects and individuals in life, they are more likely to take action in spite of fear of loss instead of taking action for pleasure of gain, okay? People are more likely to change their situation and to do something to stop them from missing out on something or to stop them from being affected in the future than in order to gain something right now. So like if I tell one of you guys to do 20 push-ups right now, and if I tell some of you, if I tell one of you guys, you need to do 20 push-ups every single day for the next month and you'll get a six-pack. Obviously, like, that doesn't make sense, but some of you guys will do it if you really want one. Some of you guys won't because you just won't be able to be asked. But if I told one of you guys, you need to do 20 push-ups every single day for the week, otherwise you're gonna die of cancer. It sounds illogical, right? But you're gonna do it because you don't wanna, fear of loss. Exactly what applies. Like, people would rather make sure them or their future self do not miss out or are in a better situation than actually gaining anything immediately. I think back to the doors, like, there's so many ways we do this. some correct ways, some not so correct ways. You know what I mean? But we tell someone, like, listen, like, I'll be honest, love. Yeah, I mean, maybe you can go and do it yourself, but like, what day is it today? It's what? It's the 20th of April. Like, the rates are going up next month and you are gonna be getting charged like double. Like, would you rather save money now or like, you know, have to pay a bill double next month? And they're going to think like, oh, wow, like, I don't want to do that.
There's always those guys that say the rates are cheaper on my iPad.
You know what I mean? It's like fear of loss. Like, I'll be honest, love. It's like, you know, and unfortunately, like, you can't do it. I'll be honest. British Gas have gave me this special iPad. I've got a little hack. It'll be 50%. Magic iPad, you know? So it's like fear of loss. Like, people would rather make sure their future self don't miss out and they're in a better position than actually gain something immediately. The pain of consequence and the pain of regret is a lot deeper than just pleasure, as long as you frame it correctly, you know? So as long as you show people like, all right, cool, you can kind of show them like, this is what your life's gonna look like if you don't change. This is what your life's gonna look like if you don't fix this problem. they're more likely going to be able to take action because, the fear of loss, the fear of their future self being in pain. I don't know why, I don't know how the human brain works, I don't understand it, but it's like, you'd much rather just put your future self and make sure your future self is safe than, gaining anything immediately right now. This is how you apply fear of loss into your sales as well, right? When you're in your DMs or when you're speaking to your prospects, I want you to introduce them in the DMs to the cost of inaction. I want you to ask them, like, all right, cool, so like, how long has this problem been going on for? And like, what does it look like if this carries on being an issue? Introduce them to the cost of staying the same and why they need to move forward now. If you're a closer, you want to tie in their identity, okay? People do what they believe they are. So make them identify as the type of person that takes action, the type of person that gets themselves out of the situation, and make them understand that's the only way they're going to get to their dream state, and that is going to make them want to, move forward. You want to, this is something that you can do as a closer, easily. You want to make them identify, do you want to be, would you say you're an action taker? Would you say you're a procrastinator? And this is amazing as well, because then when it gets to the end of a call and they want to think about it, you want to be like, all right, cool. All right, buddy. You said you're an action taker a minute ago, right? If an action taker really believed in this product, if an action taker really believed what was presented in front of them was going to help them, what do you think they do? They take action, right? You want to tie them into their identity, and you really want to tie them down on that, okay? Make them feel what another year or another 2 years of staying the same is. Huge. Make them why now? Why not just wait until later? Why not just wait until later like you've been doing for the past 2 years? I mean, why not just wait until 3 years? Or how would it feel like you're 25 right now? How would it feel like if you got to 27 and you were still you were still struggling with the same issues? They're gonna be like, damn, what would it be like if I was 27 and I'm still struggling for money, or I'm still overweight? They're gonna fucking hate that, and that's what's gonna make them want to buy it. This works perfectly as well as if you can gauge how long they've been stuck to. All right, the best type of thing, and that's why I always say if someone says they want to really do something, and they've wanted to do it for 2 years. Say if someone tells me that they've wanted to change their situation, and I'd be like, all right, how long have you wanted to do that for? And they say 2 years. I'll ask them, why is it taking you so long for? I respect you and I appreciate you for coming onto this call now and actually, looking to do something, but why is it taking you so long? And then later on, I'll be like, all right, cool. So obviously it's taken 2 years right now for you to actually want to do something. I'm just curious, what do you think your life would have looked like if you'd have actually done this 2 years ago? If you'd have actually done this when, you thought that this was you thought this was good. And they'll tell me, oh, great, okay. So what about if you don't do anything for another 2 years? How would that feel? I mean, why don't you just do that again? They're going to think to themselves, damn, I've already lost 2 years of my life. I can't lose another 2 years, okay? Does that make sense? Any questions on that or anything? Cool.
What if, so obviously we've got what would your life look like if you did this 2 years ago? It's making them realise that they need to take action today sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
What would your life look like if you stayed the same for 2 years? What if they said something to you like, well, I'm not going to leave it another 2 years. It's just going to be 2 weeks. I'm going to start in January. What do you say then?
Just tie them into the identity, like I said, right? Because you need to show them that decision making, that way they've been making their decisions, that's what's got them to this point. You tell them, do you know what the definition of insanity is? It's making the exact same decisions and thinking, or it's making the exact same moves and thinking you're going to get a different result. You tie them into that identity again. It's truthfully, the type of person that you want to be, if they were, presented with a solution, would they wait or would they take action? You say, if you had cancer right now and I came to you with the solution, would you wait 2 weeks or would you move straight away? Why? Because it's important, because I know I need to do it now, because why would I waste time? It's the exact same thing with this. Why do you want to wait 2 weeks when you can solve that solution now? Do you know what I mean? I work with people, especially, it's it's a big decision, I want to think about it. It's that's what you've been doing for the past 2 years. You just you want to make them sound stupid. That's another thing that we learned on door-to-door sales. It's you want to make them sound stupid. It's you'd rather pay less than more, right? Or you'd rather get to that solution destination quicker, wouldn't you?
Silly question, but
Silly question. It's a silly question, isn't it? Point number 5, conversate with your prospects, do not pitch, okay? The best sales interactions are the ones where it genuinely just feels like a one-to-one chat. Not a fully loaded sales interaction where you'll come to them with a big proposal and they've got all the power in their hands. It just feels like a chat. It feels like you're speaking to a pal and you're there helping them with something. Where you two are the best sales interactions are where you two are genuinely just having a conversation to find the best solution for them. And you're showcasing to them, you're showcasing to the other person that you've got value there to be provided. So this is how you apply it, right? As a setter, you want to ask them questions and you want to let them answer. If you're texting more, and if your messages are bigger than what your prospect is saying to you, something's drastically wrong. Do this by using open-ended questions and making your prospects expand more, right? So, especially if you're a closer as well, like you need to lead your prospects through questions. You want to get them to say what they want to hear. You don't want to tell them what to say, if that makes sense. It's a lot better if you can ask a prospect, why do you feel like it is that you need to take action, rather than you telling a prospect that why they need to take action. If you can get them to start thinking, you can prompt them in the right way, your prospect is more likely going to want to take action. This will improve more, obviously, as you become a better communicator. But yeah, I want you to look at it as if you're a setter, you want to be texting less than your prospect. And if you're a closer, you want to be talking less than your prospect. 6, your data is the truth, right? Your numbers are the number one thing that are going to tell you where your performance is, okay? Now, it's very important that you don't get stuck in the data trap, because a lot of people will look at their data, they won't be making any money, and they'll be like, oh, data is the truth, so why I'm clearly shit. What you need to understand is that obviously your data is going to tell you exactly where you are. But as long as you're putting in the inputs, and as long as you're putting in the necessary things that you need to do, the data improve no matter what. It's all a mental game. But in terms of gauging where your performance is at the time and gauging on what you need to improve on, data is going to be your best friend. As a setter, whatever your bottleneck is, the data will tell you, all right? So if you've got a low conversation rate, if you're not speaking to many people, your outreach is shit. If you're speaking to a lot of people but you're not booking anyone, your conversation or your pitch is shit. If you're booking people and they're not closing or they're not showing, your bookings are shit. Like you can, whatever your prospect is, whatever your problem is, you can look at the data and it's going to tell you exactly what the issue is. And then you can take a full accountability of that and go and get the help that you need. The way that applies to closers as well is like, track the most common objections that you're facing. You know what I mean? Like, put all of your calls into Fathom. We've got fucking Fathom. Put them all into ChatGPT and be like, what is the biggest thing that I'm struggling with in these transcripts? You're going to find out what the biggest objections are, and then you can find out how to pre-handle them, but also the best way to actually handle them when they come. Track where leads are stalling and focus on fixing the stages of the problems. And also know your close rate as well. Like, I see so many closers, I see so many setters not know their close rate, not know their booking rate, not know their show rate. It's like, how are you meant to improve if you don't know what to improve? Traffic light theory. Have any of you guys ever heard of this other than the people who I said?
Yeah.
Traffic light theory, right? There's going to be 5 to 10% of people that you speak to that will buy no matter what you say, and these are called green lights, okay? All you have to do is make them make a decision. In sales, there's going to be another 5 to 10% of individuals that won't buy no matter what, they won't buy no matter how good it is that you try to convince them, or no matter how good your performance is. And these are people that they're just red lights. Like, no matter what, they're just not going to buy, all right? Don't kill yourself trying to close these guys, because they're essentially unclosable. But there's 80% of people in the middle, right? They're ambers, okay? You either have the ability, they either have the ability to be red, or they either have the ability to be green. And it's up to you and your performance to get them into that green percentage that says yes. The focus here is quality time with quality people. You don't want to waste your time on individuals that don't want to be or are impossible to be closed. You don't want to waste your time on these red lights, these people that are just not going to buy no matter what, or that are going to cost you an arm and a leg to convince. No, just move on to the people that do want to buy. Move on to the greens. You spending too many people on the red lights, the people that don't want to buy, you're just wasting your time, and you're wasting their time as well. As a setter, speak to the people and prioritize booking the leads that show them the most interest, that show them the highest amount of interest in the service and that want to change. If you're a closer, don't waste your time on reds. Don't be on calls with people that you have to convince, because it will just ruin your energy. No one will benefit from it. Point number 8 is you want to murder objections before they murder you. Before an objection occurs, it forms as an obstacle. All right, before you get an objection, it actually starts off as an obstacle before it turns into like a green, cancerous objection that just fucks up your whole sale. And your job as the salesperson is to shoot that motherfucker, to shoot that obstacle before it ruins your sale. The best salespeople can spot obstacles from a mile away, handle them so that they don't ruin their sale. Partner objections, time objections, lack of action taken, limiting beliefs, concerns about the product, concerns on trust. These are all things that you can spot before. You can pre-handle before so that when you get to the end of the call, you've already handled it so they're just ready to buy. Truthfully, soon you'll get to a point after taking so many sales calls or being in so many sales interactions that objection killing would just be natural. You'll just be like handling it with whatever you say. And if you ever do have to deal with objections, 9 times out of 10, they'll just be logistical as long as you do a good job with explaining the service. I use this sort of system, it's called COPE, right? I use this system in order to handle objections and pre-handle objections, okay? First things first is clarity. Your prospects need to understand that they have an issue. You need to get your prospect to admit that they have an issue and admit that they have a problem that they need to take action to fix. You then need to understand, they then need to understand that that issue is in their ownership. They need to take ownership of being ready to take action and become the person that gets that result and fixes their problem. Process. As long as they understand they've got clarity and they've got ownership, the process. You need to get them to understand, or you need to get them to say that they believe in the process that you've presented to them as an adequate enough way to solve that problem. This is where, if you're being a closer, this is where you're tying them down on, all right, cool, how good do you think this is going to be? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that it's going to help you? Okay? As long as you get them to believe in the process, you're practically almost there. And then finally is expectation. Like, you want to set the decision frame of them. You want to set the frame of them like being ready to decide to commit to take action on the call. Not wait, not think about it. Are they finally ready to take their situation? That's what when I was speaking to you about, Sam. It's like, you have the expectation that, listen, you're going to make the decision now. Are you ready to take action now, or are you just going to continue waiting? And obviously, number 9 is assassinating objections with tie downs, all right? This is done by the temperature check and tie downs kind of as I walked you through. If you're able to tie your prospects down to the mast and tie them down on why this is the right thing, they're always going to buy. As long as you temperature check throughout the sales conversation, tie them down throughout the pitch, you're golden. So you temperature check, how does it sound? Does it sound good? You present the solution. You're like, all right, based on everything that you've just said, do you feel like this is what you need? All right, what specifically about this do you think is going to help you? I talk about it on here, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that this is the solution that you need to solve your problem? Is this something that you can 100% see yourself using to achieve your goals? What specifically about this has made you so confident that you'll be able to allow it to hit your goals? As long as you can tie your prospects down in this way, you're never going to struggle with sales again. And handling the objections if they do form, right? If objections ever do form and you haven't been able to kill them, then this is what we want to do in order to handle the good old-fashioned objection. Because truthfully, you'll never be able to get rid of all of them. But this is how you get rid of the ones that come your way. You don't want to respond to the objection. You never want to take it as face value before giving yourself before you want to give yourself leverage, and you want to utilize something called AIR. You want to agree, you want to agree, acknowledge, you want to ignore, and you want to respond. Yep, no worries for sure. I can see where you're coming from with that. Then you want to isolate the real blocker, all right? If it wasn't a money issue, if it wasn't a time issue, or whatever bullshit they say, if it wasn't for this, and if everything was perfect, would you move forward? Then we want to re-anchor their words against them. Like, can I offer you my perspective? You said earlier that you've procrastinated getting to X for the past couple of years now, which has cost you on Y, sorry. Would you say your behavior right now is different to what you've said and done for the past 2 years, or the same? So in order to get to this goal that you want to get to, does it make sense for you to carry on making that exact same decision, using that exact same logic that's got you here? As long as you can anchor them down, that's why I said like, getting the words out of their mouth and getting them to admit what's held them back is super important. Because you just use that against them. And it's called the consistency bias, right? People don't want to seem inconsistent. So if you get them to say all of these things, get them to say, and you just tie it back down to them, they're going to be like, oh, I kind of have to buy now. They're either going to buy or they're just going to leave the call, but that's good. Like, I'd rather your prospects check out chicken, leave the call, never speak to you again, or just disappear off the map, because they're like, mentally they're going to know, yeah, I'm a little bitch. Do you know what I mean? But it's when you let them get off the hook. It's like, oh, you know what, it's fine. I'm going to let you go. Or, we'll have a follow-up. It's when you let them get off the hook. It's when you let them, get away with making the exact same mistakes. That is what kills their success. That's what kills your performance as well. So finally, calm and collectedly collect the cash. And the way we do this is like, all right, cool. So where do we want to go from here, right? Are you ready to take the action you haven't taken for the past 2 years? Or are you going to continue making the same decisions? Is it time for you to decide? Are we ready to go? Like, are we ready to finally move forward? And then finally as well, like, you need to become a key person of influence. The more influential you are in your sales interactions, is the more people are likely to not only like want to buy from you, but follow you as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of the people, like, yeah, I'm sure you can see Temi as someone being like influential. You guys wouldn't be here if he wasn't influential. You need to be a person of key influence in people's life. People buy from people. People buy from, you know, individuals that they trust to lead them. So the way you do this is first things first, by certainty, right? You must fill people with certainty in all areas that this is the thing that they need. This is the right time, they need it, and then you are the person to deliver it. You want to be calm, and you want to frame it with clarity, and you want to like lower your tone as well, like use verbal cues and make them really feel it. Make them feel that certainty in your voice. You want to be consistent as well. You need to have systems in like every single thing you do. If you're a setter, have systems for follow-ups. If you're a closer, have systems on how you do discovery. If you're a closer, have systems on how you do objection. Like, you need to have a system, because that's how you're a key person of influence. And then finally, you just need conviction. If you don't sound like you believe in yourself, if you don't sound like you believe in the product, your prospects sure as hell are not fucking going to believe you. Your prospects mirror how you behave. So you need to have that unwavering confidence in your pitch, in your solution, and you will win.